Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda. I am autistic. I have ADHD. I have total aphantasia, which means I don't visualize in my mind's eye. And I have SDAM, which stands for severely deficient autobiographical memory. Today I am at Seaside, Oregon, and we're at the beach. There's water out there, but it is so gray and overcast that you can't see the ocean. I'm a terrible vlogger because I forgot my tripod, so I'm holding up my camera for a few minutes here, but I wanted to capture a little bit of footage here on the beach. So I don't know, I have so many thoughts in my head. So a couple of videos ago I did a video about what is fun anyway, and is autistic fun the same as neurotypical fun? And that has been on my mind a lot the last couple of weeks, because just trying to figure out how to generate more fun in my life. And coming here on a little mini family vacation is just like a really prime example, because most people would consider going on vacation as a fun activity, right? And I'm having fun. Like, I love the sound of the ocean. I wanted to walk down there, but as you all know, I've recently had foot surgery, so this was about as far down the beach as I could get. Hold on, I'll show you where my hotel was. So my hotel is that building right there, and so this, and you can't really tell distance, but there's like a lot of grassy between here and the hotel. And that's a 5-story hotel, so it goes down a hill. So I made it as far as I could, and it's like, okay, I have to work with the limitations of my body, and I can at least hear the ocean. My family did go down to the water's edge. It's the Pacific Northwest, it's the Pacific Ocean, and it is very, very cold. Nobody swims in the ocean, but sometimes it's fun to just walk up and down. So anyway, interestingly enough, the weather is a huge component, and probably for a lot of people, about whether or not you're having fun or not. So when we arrived yesterday, it was really hot and bright and sunny, so just dripping sweat hot, dripping sweat. We had a 2-hour car ride, which with me and my kids, my husband was driving, but with me and my kids, we can kind of get a little car sick, and you're driving through trees and it's like flickery. And we got checked into the hotel room, and then it was pretty much time for us to go to dinner. We had to walk about 5 blocks down the boardwalk, and it was very slow going because of my foot surgery, but I made it. I was really proud, and I was really focusing on trying to have a positive attitude, but like all of the negative things were flowing through my head, and about how hot we were, how slow I was going, how my hip was hurting from my weird gait because of my foot. We had picked out a restaurant ahead of time, which is a really good idea for autistic people. But when we got there, my kids at the last minute decided no, none of the food sounded good. So then we were walking from restaurant to restaurant down the boardwalk, trying to pick something. We were all hot and sweaty. It was just like, oh my gosh, my husband was trying to have so much patience, and I was trying to be like, this is fun, we're doing a family vacation, this is fun. And it is, because we want to get out of our comfort zone, but to get out of our comfort zone, there's just so many sensory and anxiety things. Like, there were so many people on the boardwalk, and then loud noises coming out of different shops that we walked past. Like, we walked past an arcade that was blasting music, and again, the temperature made things interesting too. But we finally found a restaurant, and we all sat down and took a beat, and it's like, okay, there's no rush, let's just take our time, let's pick out our order. And we all got our food, and we had an enjoyable dinner, and it was like, okay, we can do this. We just have to go slower than most people. And then after dinner, we pretty much went back to the hotel room and spent the entire evening chilling in our hotel room. Which is pretty early. Most families, I think, would have gone back out. They would have gone to the arcade. There was a race car track. There's putt-putt golf in the city. There's a lot of things to do. We talked about coming down to the beach last night, but we were just so exhausted from getting to the hotel. We needed just downtime in the hotel room, just hanging out as a family. In the past, before I had all of our diagnoses, I would have pushed, because I would have been like, no, this is what we're supposed to do to have fun. We're supposed to go back out and we need to go do things and have fun. But it's like, it's not fun if we're so anxious. So instead, we just had a quiet evening as a family together in our hotel room, and it was actually really pleasant. We did walk down to the pool to see if the hotel pool was nice, and it was really small, and there was like 4 families in there, and it was an indoor pool, so it was very echoey. So we decided, okay, maybe we'll try the pool again another time, but today was not the time for us to go to the pool. I packed a breakfast for us this morning because I knew I didn't want us to have to rush and to go find breakfast. So we were able to eat breakfast in our hotel room and take our time, wake up really slow, because we are like pretty slow in the morning. And that, I think, was an excellent idea. And nobody felt rushed. And now we've walked down to the beach and we've spent some time down here. My family just went back up before I started filming. And I told them I was going to hang out here for a little bit longer, and then I'm going to join them. And about that time, it'll be time for us to find some food for lunch, because, like I said, we had a very slow morning, and now we spent, some time playing on the beach. Milo, from one of my previous videos, our service dog, is here with us, and he's had a blast at the beach. But even like walking down here to the beach, I'm like, is this even fun? Like, is this fun? Like, I was just, and again, part of that is dealing with foot surgery, but it's sensory experience, the sand and all of that. And then it was misting when we first got down here. And I was just like, so water was kind of like getting on my skin. And it's just like, oh, I was like I wanted it to look in my head, not how it actually is. But taking a beat and saying, okay, this is the weather we have. This isn't the weather I wanted, but it's the weather we have. And it's actually nice that it's nice and cool out here. The mist has stopped, and I'm just enjoying listening to the sound of the ocean. And that it's not very crowded out here because the weather's kind of yucky. Other people are doing other things. So yeah, I am legitimately having fun right now. This is like peaceful for me. And I think peaceful to me is a lot of what can be fun. And for me in particular, vacations are kind of bittersweet because, like I said, I have a memory disorder. So as I'm living out this experience, I know I'm not going to remember it. And so that is, in its own way, very strange. I have to capture this moment of fun. I can take this video, I can rewatch this video in the future, but it won't bring back the memory. It'll just bring back the knowledge that yes, I was here and these are the things that I said, but I won't remember them in my brain, and I won't have like an emotional attachment to the memory. And knowing that ahead of time is kind of trippy, but it is what it is, and that's how my memory's always been. And that's why I just have to focus on living in the moment. But I'm going to sit here, enjoy the ocean for a few more minutes, and then go join my family, and we're going to continue our little weekend. I keep saying weekend just because it's 2 nights, but our midweek getaway. Okay, guys, so I am back home now. Today is Monday, and I'm going to hopefully get this video edited and put it up on the same day. But as you saw, we were in Seaside at the end of last week. We were Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I filmed that on Thursday morning, and it was like perfect timing, you know, because a couple videos ago I did the one talking about what is fun. And since then I had a therapy appointment where it was funny because I was talking to my therapist and I'm like, okay, I've got 2 topics. One was like a family matter, and then the second one, I was like, second part of my session, I really just want to kind of philosophize about what is fun, and does it look different for somebody who is autistic versus somebody who is neurotypical. And we had a really fun kind of discussion breaking down what is fun and what looks like fun, and you know, that kind of thing. Okay, before I go any further, as y'all know, I cut bangs a couple of videos ago, and I'm trying to get used to them. I love the way they look, but the sensory experience of them moving on my forehead is driving me batty. And even though I really love the way they look, I probably am not going to keep them. I'll probably grow them out because I can deal with my curls. This is becoming just too much sensory. I can't tune it out. Like all day long, I'm aware of them on my forehead. And it's so sad because I really do like the way they look. But yeah, I tried a new thing. Did not work. I've had bangs in the past, but that was like years and years ago, and I did not remember that they were so annoying. And it was before my diagnosis when I was masked, and I dissociated a lot of my sensory experiences, which led to burnout, because when you're dissociating all the time, it's not good for your mental health. But anyway, back to the story at hand. So the interesting thing that my therapist and I kind of came up with, and it was like at the end of the session, I was like, so what kind of sparked this entire like inquiry into fun was coming across a book, an audiobook called The Power of Fun by Catherine Price. And I think it's a great book. I didn't finish it. I'm not going to finish it. But it's because it wasn't written for me. It was written by a neurotypical person for neurotypical people. And it just did not have, at least as far as I gotten into it, had no acknowledgement of a neurodivergent brain, which, we are the minority brain type. So I get like a lot of literature is not written for us. And what I came to at the end of my therapy session was, before my diagnosis, I would have read this book, and at the end of it felt like, God, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just have fun the way that I'm supposed to? Like, what's wrong with me? Now, because I am diagnosed autistic and ADHD, and I have a better understanding of my sensory needs and how my brain works, I'm just like, okay, there's nothing wrong with me. My brain is just different. And so my definition of fun doesn't have to be like a neurotypical person's definition of fun. And so in her definition of fun, it was flow, connectedness, and playfulness. And I think for me as an autistic person, I don't know for sure. I'm like I said, I've been thinking about this, but I like the connectedness, but I don't think it always has to be with other people. I like connecting with other people, but it does, like, especially not in large groups, like one-on-one or very small groups is better for me. But also connecting with myself and connecting with nature, spending time with my pets. These things are fun for me too. And flow, definitely. I agree with that one. Like, but she says like these 3 ingredients have to be together to create fun for a neurotypical person. But when I spent 48 hours on a hyperfixation and I was in complete flow when I painted these paintings, that most certainly was fun for me. And it was just me by myself in flow painting. And then playfulness. That is one I struggle with because I just inherently am more of a serious person, but I do have my moments of playfulness. Like, I love stupid puns. I love dad jokes. I'm a mom, but I love the dad jokes. And I don't know if dad jokes are a thing in other countries, but they are just plain, simple, clean humor. Of course, right now I can't think of any dad joke example. Hopefully people can put some really good ones in the comment section for me because dad jokes are the best. I love play on words. So I do have a sense of humor and a time to be play, but a lot of times I'm so busy just in survival mode as an autistic person that play doesn't come out. In order for playfulness to happen, anxiety has to be addressed. And a lot of times when I'm in a neurotypical fun situation, like at a festival or on a vacation, I'm dealing with all the anxiety things around me that it's hard for me to get into a moment of play. Like when I was sitting there on the beach, I had to get over the fact that the weather wasn't the way it was that I wanted it. It actually ended up being great. Like I did see, but I had to work my way through the logic. Like I wanted it to be bright and sunny and beautiful day, but it wasn't that. And that actually ended up being good, because if it had been hot and sunny, I would have been too hot to enjoy it. The fact that it was misty and gray, I was actually really comfortable. So that actually worked out the best. So imagery wise, so visually stimming, the beach wasn't the beautiful beach that I wanted, but temperature wise, and then I could still hear the ocean, which I just love the sound of water, natural running water. That is just, again, another, it's like a auditory stem, like waterfalls and the ocean. I could just like, that's just something that will really calm me, and it can't be artificial. Like if I listen to a recording of a waterfall, it is not the same to my brain. It has to be the real thing. Like my brain knows. So what I'm saying is, like, I can have fun in these places, but it takes me a longer time to get there, because I have to address all of the sensory things that are going on with me, and I have to address any kind of anxiety that I have before I can have fun. And the problem is, a lot of times there's just not time for my timeline for the timeline that we're at an event. Like if I go to a one-day fair, it might take the first 2 hours before I'm like, okay, I'm now, worked through the sensory experience, and then we might be there for another 2. It's like I spent half the time just trying to get to the part where I can relax to have fun. Or, a mini vacation 2 nights away, it took, the first day and a half before it was like, okay, we're not in our own house, we're in a different routine, everything's different, okay, let's relax, let's have fun. And then it's like, okay, time to start packing up and ready to go home, so that like adjustment time, and anything that you can do ahead of time, like packing my breakfast to take to the hotel, so that way we were able to have a slow morning, that was really helpful. Like that really helped us, because it gave us familiar foods that we were used to. We didn't have to rush. We're really slow in the morning most of the time. And so not having to just get up and go, it made the morning very fun and enjoyable for us. And then we were able to move on with our day. The thing that I think is interesting is I came across that article that book on fun. And then being able to analyze it, because as an autistic person, I just love breaking things down and analyzing. And then like, okay, vacations are supposed to be fun, so let's analyze the fun. And see, that for me is part of the fun. Like analyzing things is fun for my brain. For a neurotypical person, oftentimes that is not fun. They're like, don't analyze it, just be in the moment. But analyzing the moment is part of the fun for me. So it was kind of cool that the book came up right before we went on this little vacation, and then I was able to really delve into, and I think I was able to have more fun because I was analyzing it. I wasn't just reacting. I was looking for fun. I was saying, okay, what do I think should be fun, and what actually is fun to me? And then being okay with the fact that what is known typically to be fun doesn't have to be fun for me, and that's okay. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. It doesn't mean that I'm broken. And that was a really important thing for me to come to. And I think now I can start to look for more fun in my life, because I am looking for the fun that is actually legit to me. Okay. 2 more things I wanted to talk about in this video. One was just wrapping up the memory part about it again, because anytime I go on a vacation, it brings up my memory disorder very much present in my mind. Like, I have a memory disorder. It affects my daily life. I can't create autobiographical memories. I don't, that's like episodic memory is not working. And so when you are on a vacation, which signifies in your brain, like you're creating memories with your family, knowing that you're not going to remember it is a really weird cognitive kind of trippy thing. So like before I started this segment here back at the house, I had to rewatch the video, which I understand most people would probably want to rewatch it just to remember exactly what they said. But I had to rewatch it because I didn't remember what I said in that part of the video at all. So I rewatched it before I started filming here. And it's so interesting because photos and videos don't trigger memories. So even though it was only a couple days ago, I was sitting on that beach, rewatching myself on that beach. It was interesting because I know I filmed a segment on the beach, right? Like I knew to go back to my camera and like find the video footage. Like I know that's semantic knowledge. I know things about my life. I know what I did, but I can't recall, I can't relive the experience of what it felt like and what it was like to sit on that beach and film. Like that's gone. Like that's the episodic. And I saw a really good analogy on my SDAM group the other day, talking about a really good way to describe SDAM. It's like you have a really good chapter book, and at the front of the chapter book is a table of contents that list out the chapter titles. I have access to the list of chapter titles. Like I have facts. Those are like the facts of my life. I don't have access to the depth, the richness, the story of the chapters. The actual book isn't in my mind. All I have access is to a list of chapter titles. So that's a really good way, I think, to kind of sort of begin to understand what it's like to have SDAM. So it's like, I know that I went on vacation. I know that I did certain things on vacation. I cannot recall, remember, relive, re-experience what it felt like or what it was actually like or what all the nuanced things that we did and said while we were on vacation. So just kind of wanted to put that in there because yeah, anytime I'm on any kind of vacation, it's like memories, and then you're not going to remember this. But, and I've said this before in older videos, one of the reasons why I think it's very important for me to go on vacations is because, and for any human being, our lives are made up of the moments. And who I am right now in the present is made up of all my past experiences. Even if I can't remember them, they still create who I am today. So going on vacations and doing things out of your normal pattern and routine still do help develop who you are going to be as a person in the future. So it's important to me. And then the last comment I wanted to say, wait, hold on. Oh God, did I lose it? I lost it. Hold on. I'm going to pause for a minute and I'll come right back. Well, that's the life of an ADHD brain. I sat here for a couple minutes and I do not remember what the third thing that I was going to say that had popped up in my mind. So I'll just save it for another video if it comes to me. Maybe I'll put it down in the comments if it ever comes back to me. I think it was going to be a response to someone's comment, and now it just completely out of my brain. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. One quick just comment, because I get asked this every time and I love it. If anytime I have my dragon in one of my videos, people ask what brand it is. This is a Jellycat stuffed animal, and I named her Kitty
because I don't name all my stuffed animals, but I named this one Kitty because when my husband got it for me and I have it just sitting on my couch, I kept thinking it was my black cat Echo, and so I just named her Kitty. And I have a link to her down in my Amazon store, so down in the description box I link a lot of my favorite things, like these this fidget is also linked in my Amazon store, and anytime that you use my Amazon store to purchase things, it helps the channel, so I really appreciate that. And until the next one, guys, bye.